Okay, this will be the type 4 of integration that we are learning. Okay, if you are following the lessons through a lecture style, which means that you start from the first video all the way to the last video, take note what I actually missed on the last video is that there's a portion over here in the notes. Okay, go ahead and try that involve all the different kind of triggers. So you can go ahead and try the answer, short answer at the back. Okay, so you should be able to derive the answer very easily. Okay, the next type 4 that we'll be learning is actually using partial fraction, which means that I'm going to give you something according to, for example, like the part 1, okay, 3x minus 1 over x squared x plus 2. You should realize that, okay, I can't actually use my formula straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually derive from my, put into partial fraction. Then once I put into partial fraction, I can then integrate individually. Okay, so you need to get convert your 3x minus 1 x squared x plus 2 into a partial fraction. Okay, there are a few methods of partial fraction, so I'm going to leave it up to you. Okay, you can either use your carve-out rule or the general comparing numerator. But if you don't remember how to do partial fraction or how partial fraction works, always remember that MF26 has a guide for you in terms of partial fraction. So you can take a look at it. Okay, but in the generic how to solve partial fraction, this is actually a secondary school math, which I will not cover in this portion. So I'm going to skip through the partial fraction very quickly. I'm going to just focus on the integration part over here. So those that need a little bit more time to find a partial fraction, do feel free to pause the video anytime. Find a partial fraction and go ahead. Okay, so I'm going to run through the examples very quickly. For the first two examples, I'll run through the next page, the other two examples. I'm going to just give you a hint to solve it. Then I'm going to just show you the final answer. I hopefully you can be able to do it. Okay, so part 1 over here. Okay, same thing. Like I said, I'm not going to focus on the partial fraction. So I'm going to give you the answer straight. So if you can do out your partial fraction very quickly, this essentially should give you 7 over 4x. Okay, minus 1 over 2x squared and minus 7 over 4 x plus 2. Okay, so in other words, if the question asks me to integrate 3x minus 1 x squared bracket x plus 2, okay, because I have learned partial fraction, or rather I have expand out this using partial fraction, essentially is equal to this. Minus integrate of 1 over 2x squared dx minus 7 over 4 integrate of 1 over x plus 2. Okay, so from here it's just basically going back to the first 2-3 formula that we learned. Okay, what kind of formula can I use? Okay, whether I need to use the x above n plus 1, etc., or I can straight away just simply use my ln formula and so on and so forth. Okay, so this will give me 7 over 4 ln modulus x, okay, minus, or rather this will give me plus 1 over 2x, okay, minus 7 over 4 ln bracket x plus 2 plus c. Okay, so basically it's going back to the basic formulas that we learned and see which formula you can plug in accordingly. Okay, so most of the time it's just x to the power of n or f prime x to fx to the power of n. Okay, so I'm going to leave this step to you. Should be able to derive the answer very quickly. Okay, part 2, same thing. I'm going to give you the answer. Okay, first you express in partial fraction. Okay, and you should be able to derive to this. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly write out the answer. 3x squared plus 2x plus 4 divided by, okay, this is part 2 already, okay, x squared plus 1 bracket x minus 2. Okay, essentially should derive very nicely to be, okay, minus x over x squared plus 1 and then plus 4 over x minus 2. Okay, so integrating of this, okay, essentially is also integrating of negative x bracket x squared plus 1 then plus integrate of 4 over x minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to leave the manipulation up to you, okay, using your f prime x over fx. Okay, but in the final answer you should get this. Okay, take note x squared plus 1 is always positive, so I can exclude the negative, the modulus sign, plus 4 ln bracket modulus x minus 2. Okay, take note it's not bracket, it's modulus plus c. Alright, so next page, same thing. Okay, I'm going to give you a very obvious hint. So part 1, first to factorize your x squared minus x minus 12. Okay, second one, always remember, Okay, this is an improper fraction. Okay, for improper fraction, you can't actually do partial fraction straight. So the first step you do is do your long division first. Okay, and I'm going to give you the answer, the final answer over here. So kindly just take note of the final answer. Okay, in other words, your methods and your working and stuff, please go ahead and derive it yourself. Okay, so the answer over here, I'm going to write in red. Okay, part 1 will be this answer. Okay, part 2 answer will be alright. So I'm going to leave the answer, deriving the answer to yourself. Okay, but take note of the hint that I actually give you at the start of the question. Okay, so if you cannot derive the answer, same thing, feel free to reach out to me and then discuss where we actually go wrong, or if there any kind of mistake that you should be aware of. Alright, if not, that will conclude our type 4 of integration. So go ahead and try.